that is why our PRV looks different. So we have a $665 party, let's say, but a 500 PRV party. That's why, because the PRV is actually equal to $1 US. All right. PWV stands for personal wholesale volume. So where PRV is personal retail volume, the PWV is the wholesale version of that. It's just 75%. So if you sold 1 PRV, you sold 0.75 PWV. Okay. GWV is everybody in your entire downline. So when you start recruiting and then they recruit and they recruit and they recruit, it's literally just everybody's combined PWV. Okay. Everyone following along so far? Make sense? Okay. TWV is the same thing as GWV. It's just everybody's combined personal wholesale volume, but it's for your team, not group. Don't get hung up on that. We'll get into that later. Okay. Frontline are the people you directly sponsor or people who roll up to you. So your frontline are the people who are, if you think of like, you're here, and we'll get into my cute little diagrams later where I'll show you, but like you're here, your frontline are the people directly under you. Okay. Everybody else under those people, and it doesn't matter how far down it goes, are going to be your downline. Your frontline are the people you're directly responsible for as a sponsor. Okay. So those are the terms that you're going to have to know when we kind of get into this a little bit further. Is anyone confused about any of those basic terms before we move on? Because nothing's going to make sense to you if you're confused about those. No? Okay. I am going to possibly share my screen. Megan, don't laugh at me. Whoa, this is different. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. Da-da-la. Okay. So when you look at your compensation plan, you're going to see 2 different sections of it, right? You're going to see this section, which is the responsibilities, and then the second section, which is the monthly rewards. The responsibilities just means the things that need to happen to reach that title or be paid at that title if you've already reached it, okay? So don't be overwhelmed by this little cute chart. Can everyone see it okay? I can't see you guys anymore because I'm an elder millennial and I don't know how to see the screen and share the screen at the same time. By the silence, I'm just going to assume that it's okay.
You're good, Kate.
Yeah? Pardon?
Yeah, we can see it.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So there's a difference between title and rank. Okay. I just want to talk about that before I get into these responsibilities. Your title is the highest title you've ever promoted to on the comp plan. Okay. With a couple exceptions, but honestly, we'll get into that later. Just think of it as the highest title you've ever promoted to on the comp plan. Your rank is the title you've reached in any given month. Okay, so just because, for example, just because you've promoted to Star Consultant doesn't mean you automatically always get paid at Star Consultant just because you promoted there 6 months ago. Okay, your rank will change month to month depending on the numbers that you and your team have reached. Okay, so for this, an essential consultant is someone who has just joined and whose lifetime PRV has not reached 1,000 PRV yet. Okay. They have no actual responsibilities. You don't have to do anything. You sell at your own leisure. Obviously, this, which is circled here, once you sell 1,000, you're certified for life. So once you sell 1,000, you reach that 25% compensation plan or commission rate, I'm sorry, for life. It's a permanent thing. So the sooner you do that, the better it is for you. The more months you get paid at 25% rather than 20 is going to be better for you, right? But they have no responsibilities. Same thing with the certified consultant. So once your lifetime PRV has reached 1,000 accumulative, right? Like since the day you joined, you get that permanent raise I spoke of, but you still have no responsibilities as far as team stuff goes. If you never, ever, ever want to build a team ever, you are totally okay there. If you want to just get your own discount or you're just happy selling to your friends and family and you don't want the responsibility of being a team leader, That is totally fine. You do not ever have to build a team. I want to make that very clear, okay? You still get paid on your personal PRV and these two titles, no matter what. There is no minimum PRV requirements as far as actual monthly sales and getting paid like in a paycheck wise. There's no minimums as far as that goes. So I hope that makes sense. For a lead consultant, well, for all consultants, leadership wise, your PRV never has to be more than 500. Okay, so view this little column right here, the top column. My mouse is wild, but you never have to sell more than 500 PRV in order to be paid on your team. I honestly think that that is such a reasonable and low number for leaders. So don't be too scared about that. So we're going to go column by column here. Okay. Real quick. I'm going to go kind of dive through it really quickly here. And then, like I said, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to show my adorable little diagrams that I've drawn for you. So don't be too overwhelmed if I go too quickly here. So don't look at it this way, like horizontal, it'll be too overwhelming. Look at it this way. So a lead consultant must have 500 PRV, 1,000 group wholesale volume. Remember, that's between you and everybody in your downline, and 1 active frontline. So if we go back to what frontline meant, it is the people directly under you. At least one of those people have to be active in the same month that the rest of this is happening, okay? For a star consultant, again, the 500, your group wholesale volume has to be 2,500, and you have to have at least 2 active frontline. Superstar consultant, 500 again, 6,000 GWV is needed to reach this title, and you need 3 active frontline. Director, 500 still. And just because this is the minimum qualification, guys, I do not suggest making that your actual goal. You should be reaching higher than that as far as leadership goals. Your group wholesale volume needs to be 10,000. Your TWV, which I'll get into after as far as director generation, needs to be 2,000, and you need to have 3 active frontline. For a star director, 500 PRV, 30,000 GWV. That's between you and everybody under you guys. Don't let that overwhelm you. And your TWV needs to be 6,000. You need to have 3 active frontline consultants and 2 first gens. And SSDs need 500 PRV, 80,000 GWV, 10,000 TWV, 3 active frontline consultants, and 4 first gens. I'm going to stop the share, and hopefully I don't see a bunch of blank faces. Are you guys following me so far? Yeah, that all makes sense? Okay, you guys have seen that chart 1,000 times, right? What I find overwhelms everybody is when they look at the whole chart like all at once, which is why I broke it down into, yeah, Gloria's like, yes. So when you look at this whole thing, it looks really scary. And our older one, for those of you guys, Sherry was around with our old one. Wasn't that even scarier? You were too, Miranda? Yeah, Amy, you were. I couldn't remember when they switched it over. It like went like all this way instead of breaking it down into responsibilities and rewards. But if you look at just the responsibilities, does that make sense to you guys? Like what a person needs in order to get paid? I have a little dancer in here.
I have no chair to sit on, so I'm getting this dirty chair. That's
because I stole her office chair. Rude. Okay. Oh. Okay, see ya. So what I want to be very, very clear on, which I mentioned earlier, the difference between title and rank. When you hit, let's say that you hit lead consultant, right? You sold 500, you and your team, you sold 1,000, and you had 1 active frontline. You're promoted to lead consultant. Yay, it's a big celebration. You need, every time you want to be paid on your TVs at lead consultant, and I'll go into why you want to shortly, you need to hit that each time. Each time you would like to be paid on your team, you need to hit those numbers. And same goes for every other title. So the beautiful thing about Scentsy's compensation plan and what sets us apart from like a pyramid scheme or a scam is we don't just get to promote to these titles one time and then sit back on our lazy haunches and then earn money on our TVs because we're just lazing back. We have to continue to do the work. We have to continue to work our own businesses as leaders if we want to continue to be paid. So that means that your upline whoever it may be, whether it's me or Cheryl Beth. I know we have our cousins on here right now. We are all working, right? And our uplines are all working if they want to be paid on us, right? So it's kind of like a nice, what's the word? Like a comfortable feeling, I guess, like knowing that the people above me, if they would like to be paid on me, also have to be working their businesses, and it keeps people fresh. I know that my leaders or myself, I have to be in the know. I have to know what's going on with the catalog. I have to know what's going on with our businesses and the news tabs and the workstations in order to be paid on my team, because I have to be working my own businesses. So it just makes us better leaders when we're more involved and more just focused on the business. I hope that makes sense. Okay, I'll get into, I'm trying to think if I should go into the rewards like screenshot of the comp plan, or if that will confuse you guys more. Yeah, let's go into it just for a second, but I'm not going to break it down like I did the first one, or it'll take 100 years. So what I'm going to do, here we are. Okay, you guys are familiar with this, right? These are the monthly rewards. So if you look at, if you have a comp plan in front of you, Sherry, just kidding, you can look at the top and follow the columns all the way down, right? So if the lead consultant reached 500 PRV, 1,000 GWV, and 1 active frontline consultant, this is what they would get, okay? Now notice, let's just go into commission from PRV, 25%, okay? Bonus for personal wholesale volume. This is something that I think a lot of people overlook. So this is your personal wholesale volume. That's the wholesale version of the retail you've already sold. You're not selling anymore. You're basically getting a second bonus on the sales you've already made, okay? Yeah, 2%'s not a lot. 2% on the 75% of your sales is not a lot. It usually equals out to like $2 or something when you first start, okay? Especially if your sales aren't super high. Of course, the higher your sales, the higher this bonus will be. But just know that every time you get paid at any kind of leadership rank, you're going to get an extra bonus on the sales you've already made. That's like being paid twice for doing the same thing, okay? Sweet. Don't overlook that. Now, as a lead consultant, you're going to get 2% on your frontline essentials or certifieds consultant TWV bonus. Now, notice the rest of this is blank, right? As a lead consultant, you cannot get paid on your frontline or downlines lead consultant TWV. Wow, that was hard to say for some reason. Okay, and the same thing goes for the rest of them. So for star consultant, you get paid up to lead, but you do not get paid on star or above, which means, you guys, if you follow this down, you have to be a title above anybody you would like to be paid on your downline. Very, very important to know, okay? And again, this just keeps your leaders and you as a leader accountable. It makes sure that you are working your business and you are continually growing, okay? I went through the same thing when I was first growing my business too. There was a couple months where I was blocked in a couple people because my downlines were working harder than me. So they were promoting at the same time or faster than I was. And rather than let that discourage me, I allowed it to light a fire under my ass instead. And I was like, oh, hell no, I'm not being blocked from these people. I need to be the leader they deserve. So I just kept working. And once you hit director, that goes away, okay? Director is the sweet spot. So once you hit director, you do get paid on your frontline directors. And we'll get into the director generation. I don't want to go too fast because that's honestly super overwhelming. So does anybody have any questions before I stop sharing this screen? And I'm going to show you my cute drawings and hopefully it helps. And Megan, like I promised, I actually do turn these percentages into actually, like what would it actually look like in paychecks? So I don't hear anyone unmuting, so I'm going to stop the share. Okay, does that all make sense, you guys? Yeah, okay. So look at that. Look at how cute that is. Can you guys even see that? You can't see my beautiful stick man? Look at it. Yeah, Yeah, I knew you'd be impressed. Okay. So basically this isn't really to, I mean, I'm going to go along with this. You guys don't actually have to be able to read this. Okay. This is, as a leader, these little charts that I created were if you recruited and then helped these people build to these certain titles. Okay. So this is your certified frontline. Okay. Now I'm using fake numbers because what else would I do? But this literally just allows me to actually take TWV and like, what's 3% of TWV look like? And this is just basically going to allow you to see what that would look like in your paycheck. And then later, I'm going to have a whole chart that shows you if you recruited, say, 10 people, what that actually looks like as far as a paycheck goes. Okay. So your certified frontline sold 300 TWV. Remember, if it's just them, their PWV and TWV are the same thing, okay? TWV and GWV is just everybody's combined PWV. If it's one person, that's just one person, okay? So maybe they sold 300 PWV / TWV today. Is this too many? I feel like it's too many acronyms, you guys. That's what makes it confusing, right? So what you actually get paid on if your title is these, okay? So if you're certified, you get paid zip, okay, on your certified frontline. Just because you recruit someone doesn't automatically mean that you automatically get paid on them. Remember what we looked at in the other chart? You have to be a title above, okay? If you're a lead, you're going to get paid 2% on your frontline certifieds, 300 TWV. I'll go faster as we go. I just want to really make sure it's like really, really clear, okay? That 2% equals $8. Life-changing, right? No, obviously not. But this is where we start and we build from there, okay? If you are a star, that same 300 TWV turns into 16 bucks for you because it doubles to 4%. If your title is a superstar consultant, that same certified frontline you have, your bonus turns into $28, okay? Because you get paid 7% on a certified. And if you have a compensation plan, you can follow along your compensation plan. You don't have to look at my adorable drawing, okay? Now, if you're a director, SD or SSD, you're going to get paid 9% on that certified consultant. So that bonus turns into $36. It's still not life-changing, you guys, but here's the key. These amounts are based on a frontline sales of 300 TWV. I made that up. Okay, sometimes your frontline will have 0. Sometimes they're going to have 3,000. Okay, there's no limit to how much this frontline certified consultant can sell. And there's no limit to how many frontline certified consultants you can have. Okay, so the $8 or the $36, yeah, by itself, you're like, I don't know if I want to be a sponsor, right? That sounds lame. But when you add all of those up together, when you actually build a large team, when you start recruiting and you start growing wide, that's when it starts to make a difference. And that's when passive income starts showing up. I can sell a finite amount. I only have a finite amount of time. Look at Miranda. She's like scattered around her house right now because she has 14 jobs and 100 kids. She can only sell, it's true though, she can only sell a finite amount of sales, right? Because she can only contact as many people as she can contact. But when she starts recruiting her contacts, they could be selling at 3 a.m. while she is working her other job, right? Or they could be selling at 2 p.m. while she is sleeping, or should be sleeping right now, probably. So don't let these singular amounts like deter you from growing a team. Okay, here's your lead frontline. They look very similar to your certified frontline, okay? Let's just say your lead has 2 teamies, yay! And together, they sold 1,000 GWV. I marked this right up with the compensation plan because a lead consultant needs to have 1,000 GWV. So does that make sense to you guys? So this person and their teamies all sold PRV this month. Their PRV combined turned into their 1,000 GWV, okay? Now, what you get paid on them, which is what we're all here for, If you're certified, nothing. Okay. If you're a lead, nada. Okay. So if you recruit someone who promotes to lead and you haven't promoted past lead, you won't get paid on their TWV at all, which means you will be paid on your own personal wholesale volume. You'll get a bonus for that still. And you'll get paid on your PRV because nothing will ever block that ever. But you will not get paid on your leads sales unless you promote to star or above. Okay. So if you're a star, you'll get paid 2%, which turns into $26 on that 1,000 TWV. Remember, it's a made up number. Superstar consultant, you'll get paid 5%, which turns into a $66 bonus. We're starting to kind of talk now, right? If you're a director or above, you'll get paid 7% on that lead frontline of yours. And this is their whole team, right? Their TWV is their team sales. So although you're tracking your frontline's numbers, you're including them and their team's sales when you do your paycheck. That's where a lot of people really get hung up. So if you're a director or above, you're going to get paid 7% on them and their team sales, which turns into $92. Again, these amounts are based off on the $1,000 or the 1,000 TWV. There's no limit to how much them and their team will sell. And there's no limit to how many lead consultants you can have. Is everyone following along? Yeah. I can share my screen after you guys, like when we're all the way done too, to show you my actual Workstation downline report. I've taken out personal information. So you can actually see how I calculate my paycheck. Like not all the way through, but just so you see like where the money is coming from, if that would help. Okay, your star frontline, yay! Okay, so they have a few teamies. Together, they've all sold 2,500 GWV. Again, I've lined this up with the comp plan, okay? What you get paid on them, if your title is certified, nothing, lead, nada, star, zilch, okay? You have to be superstar consultant or up in order to be paid on your star frontline. Again, if this is feeling overwhelming, go back to your compensation plan and follow along. If you go down the little column, you'll see it stops, okay? So if you get paid, if you're a superstar consultant, you'll get paid 3% on your star frontline's TWV. In this situation, if they reach just the bare minimum for their title, you'll get paid $100. If you're a D or above, you'll get paid 5% and you'll get paid $165. Again, this isn't life-changing. You can't quit your job with one star consultant in your frontline. Okay, again, it's based on a made-up number that I made, and it's based on one person, and it's based on their minimum sales as a star consultant. Okay, you're a superstar. Look, guys, you can applaud my art skills later. Just hold your applause. Okay, they have a little bit of a team. Together, they sold 6,000 TWV. What you get paid on them, certified lead, star, superstar, nothing. You have to be a director or above in order to be paid on your superstar consultants. You'll get paid 2% on your superstar consultants TWV. Okay, that works out to 158 big ones. All right. Again, it's all made up. Okay, this is based on their minimum title qualifications, and sometimes that's going to be 0. Sometimes you're going to have a lead consultant and them and their whole team does nothing. But sometimes you're going to have a star consultant and they blow way past their numbers, okay? Just remember that they can have huge sales. If they don't meet the active consultant or the active frontline qualifications, they can't promote anyways. So just keep in mind that these numbers will fluctuate. This is why I really stress that they're like made up. Maybe I should have put at the very beginning, income disclosure. See the income disclosure, okay? I don't know about you guys, but whenever I post like anything about money on my Facebook wall, we know that we have to say, the government makes us say results not typical. And then I always put ... but neither are you. Come on, it's kind of cute, right? Okay, so here is, and I tried to color coordinate this, but both of my Sharpies were dying. Now the orange and the red looks the same. So we'll just go with it. Okay, so this is the director chart. Or I was kind of hoping that it would show bigger, but it's not. Okay, this is you. I probably could have done this better on a screen share. These are the front line, right? In this little chart that I have. Can you guys see it okay? Yeah, kind of. Okay, so these are the front line in this chart, right? The people directly under you. I just wanted to show you guys the difference between frontline and generation, because this can be really confusing. And you don't really have to even know this completely until you're a director or above. So don't get too hung up on it if this is overwhelming. Like, let it just go in one ear and out the other. You can always just look at this later. But this person, let's just say, has this whole huge team, right? So they promoted to first generation. They happen to be your frontline. Yay, that doesn't always happen. Okay, sometimes your frontline recruits somebody else who recruits somebody else who turns into a director. This is also your first generation because there's no director between you and them. Do I have you still? Everybody? Yeah? Okay. This is what's really confusing to people. So generation is not the same as frontline or downline. Okay. If there's no director between you or them, that's a first generation. Okay. And this is relevant to my next two charts. This is why I wanted to do this first. And if you can see, there's a couple lines in between the next director. So even though there's a couple like levels in between this guy and this guy, this is your second gen. Because it's literally just the next director in that leg, okay? And again, same thing goes. Our compensation goes up to third generation directors. So even though there's a few different levels and it gets messy down here, this is your third gen, okay? So it doesn't have to be direct frontline to direct frontline to direct frontline, okay? It's just whoever's next, whoever worked hard enough or whoever's time it was to reach director in that leg, okay? Now, you can have as many first generation directors as you want, and as many second generation and third generation directors as you want. Okay, that's unlimited. There's literally no ceiling to how many directors you can have. Just keep in mind that when you're building a team, the director in your downline isn't always going to be the person that you directly sponsored. Okay, that rock star that you need to work with might come from levels down. So just as a team leader, you cannot be focused only on the people you directly sponsored. If there's someone who is showing potential or who is hungry for it or who is working for it or just engaged and interested in it, it's your responsibility as a sponsor, as a leader, to go down and lift them up, because they could be your eventual first gen, second gen, or third gen, okay? Now, that's why this was relevant. Okay, so this is your first gen director. Look at the huge crowd they have underneath them. Okay, that isn't their audience, that's their team. Let's just say they have a team of 40 and together they all sold 10,000 TWV. You obviously won't get paid on them, as we've discussed before, until you're a director or above. You will get paid 3%, whether you're a director, star director, or superstar director, on this first gen director's TWV, okay? That 3% turns into $400. Remember, this is just one director. Again, $400 won't let you quit your job, but when you start adding all of this up and you have more than just one director, it's going to start being life-changing, okay? Remember, there's no limit to how much they sell. There's no limit to how many directors you have. And as a director, it's the sweet spot. So you don't have to be a star director. You don't have to be above the director in order to be paid on them. Once you get to director, it's just considered a leadership title. It's a leadership role, and we're all equal. Okay, I am the same. I get paid the same as a superstar director on my directors. Okay, a director gets paid the same as a superstar director on their directors. What changes is the generation. This is what we're going into. So your second gen, you remember, which is the dude down there, right? Let's say they have a team of 20. They only sold 6,000 TWV, okay? As a star director or as a director, you won't get paid on that second gen. you have to promote to star director in order to get paid on that second gen. Are you guys following me so far? I know the director thinks is really kind of like difficult to understand. Okay, I see some nodding heads. So as a star director and a superstar director, you'll get paid 4% on those second generation directors, which turns into about $315 based on this 6,000. Okay, made up number. So keep in mind, you get paid more on a second gen than you do a first gen, which means that it benefits you to build leaders. Okay, it benefits you to encourage others to build their teams. Now, I could get into a whole other training about how we don't start with that. We don't lead with that. We don't go out into the world and recruit because it benefits us. And we don't encourage others to build teams because it benefits us. Okay, you should be doing that because it benefits them, always. It just happens to also benefit us, okay? But through all of that work that you do, through all of that mentoring and that time that you put into your team, you do get paid for that time. And that's the whole purpose of our compensation plan, okay? Now, for the third gen, I have this based on 10,000 TWV again. You need to be a superstar director in order to get paid on that third generation director, okay? So you'll get paid 5% on that third generation's TWV. And in this case, where I marked it out for 10,000, that's $660. That's one person's team on your whole downline. Okay. Again, the amount's based on a number I made up. And again, you get paid more on the third generation than you do the second, than you do the first. Okay. So again, it's in your best interest as a team leader to focus on building other leaders, not just to focus on recruiting as many as you can and then leaving them in the dust. That helps nobody, which is why Scentsy has this compensation plan built like this, okay? They literally have it built so that you're incentivized to help other people grow their businesses and to grow their income and change their lives and all of that stuff, okay? Now, I'm gonna have to like take a picture of this and post it in the team page so that CB can post it for you guys too, because it's really gonna be harder than I thought it would be to follow. Okay, so this is an example paycheck breakdown. I have you as a director, just so it's easy to sort of follow the paycheck, and then so you're kind of like one step above most people here. Okay, that's you. Look how pretty you are. Okay, your PRV this month was 2,000. Who wants to unmute and tell me why?
5% bonus.
Yeah, monthly sales bonus. Yeah. So with the monthly sales bonus, you get paid at 30% instead of 25, right? You get a 5% commission bonus. That should always be everyone's goal. Like that's an automatic paycheck of $792 in Canada. $792, like that's a big deal. I don't care who you are. That's a big deal. That's a good chunk of change, right? Now, remember, when you're a lead or above, you also get a bonus on your PWV. So in this case, 75% of 2,000 is 1,500. So your bonus is $178. You've done nothing different. You're just getting paid twice on the same sales, okay? So now your paycheck just turned into a $970 paycheck because you're paid at director. What? Okay, because you're getting paid 9%. You're getting a 9% bonus on your own PWV. So remember when I talked about how like it's going to look like chump change when you're a lead consultant? That PWV bonus is going to be like $4. Okay, like don't spend it all in one place. You can't even get a Timmy's latte for that anymore. But it does make a difference. That's almost $200 by the time that you reach director for the monthly sales bonus, okay? So these guys, those happy little faces there, they're your frontline, okay? Now this guy, I have 3 certifieds. These are your frontline. So you've 11 frontline. I have 3 certifieds. I have 3 leads, 2 stars, and 2 superstar consultants and 1 frontline director. Okay. Now, who can tell me if recruiting 11 people means that you're going to have 11 people who are active in building their teams. No, no. Probably someone has to recruit about 30 people in order to have this kind of situation. Okay. So when you start building a team and you really need 2 frontline consultants to go active so that you can promote to star consultant, I really need you to keep in mind that it is not their responsibility to help you promote to star consultant. Okay. So you should be promoting you should be recruiting the bare minimum you need, and then being like, okay, well, I need to promote, so you need to go active. Like, that's not reasonable or nice or within Scentsy spirit. You should be recruiting people because it helps them. And if they decide to kidnap, that is completely their prerogative. And it is why you need to always be recruiting. Okay. Always be growing wide. You should have more than enough in order to help you hit your goals, because you're hitting your goals as a byproduct of helping others hit theirs. Okay, so let's just keep that in mind. These are just the 11 people we chose out of our massive downlines in order to create this exact paycheck, okay? So this certified's TWV is $1,500 because they just hit the monthly sales award. Go girl, okay? Your bonus on them as a director is 9%. That turns into $178 for you. This certified, their TWV is $150 because they got active. Again, yes, good job. Your bonus as a director is also 9%. That doesn't change. That's an $18 bonus on them. You're certified here, this third certified, their TWV is $750. Your bonus is 9%, right? That's a $90 bonus. We're going to get into the leads. This lead is $1,000. Your bonus is 7%. I know this is, I don't even know why I'm showing you guys. You can't read this. That's a $92 bonus for you. Okay. This lead, their TWV is 1,000. Your bonus is, 3,000. Your bonus is 7%. That's a $277 bonus. This lead, 800. Again, you get paid 70% because you're a director. Their lead, it always stays the same. The only thing that differs is their TWV. Okay. That's a $73 bonus. This star, 3,000 TWV, that's a 5% bonus. Your actual paycheck would be $200. This star, TWV, 2,100. Your bonus is 5%. Your actual paycheck would be $138. Superstar, I have 2 superstars. One is 8,000, one is 6,000. You get paid 2% on both of them. One paycheck would be $211. One paycheck would be $158. And your frontline director, remember, as a director, you get paid on your directors. Director is the sweet spot you want to get to, where you're not blocked from any downlines pay. If you're a director and you have, just to digress for a second, if you're a director and you have a frontline person who promotes to star director or superstar director, you still get paid on them, because all the leadership titles, as far as that goes, are equal. Okay. So there's no being blocked even at superstar director. So if you have a rock star frontline and who promoted up the comp plan to superstar director before you did, you still get paid on them as a director, as if they're a director. Okay. So don't ever be worried about like helping someone too much. Like, there's no such thing. Okay. So let's say that director's TWV is 12,000. You get paid 3% on that. That's a $475 paycheck. If you guys want to know, I'm going to tell you what that actually looks like as an actual paycheck in a second. But if you want to know the formula in order to like figure out your paycheck, I calculate my paycheck every single month before it actually comes in, because 1, it keeps me fresh on the compensation plan. And 2, because I'm a greedy little bitch and I like to know ahead of time. Okay. So if you want to know what 9% or let's say 7% of 1,000 looks like, you literally take 1,000 times 0.07, that's 7%, right? And we're like back to like grade 4 math, times 1.32. That's really important because we're in Canada and that's the peg rate. Okay, so you take the TWV that you're getting paid on, you multiply it by the percent that you get paid on that person. And again, just look at the compensation plan to figure that out. So if you want to know how much you get paid on a certain person, look at your title and then you scroll down to their title. That's what you're going to find out, that percentage. Okay. Guys, I still keep one of these. I'm in just over 9 years. I still keep one of these beside me when I'm calculating my paychecks, just in case. Okay. Because if you're off by a couple percent, that's going to be a couple $100 eventually, or a couple $1,000 eventually. Okay. So what does this look like? This whole chart that you couldn't even see when it comes down to it. Okay. Your total team bonus for those 11 people was $1,900 or $1,910. Not too bad, right? From a business that you could work from home. You take that and you add that, remember that $970 paycheck that we talked about because you hit the monthly sales? That's a total paycheck of $2,880. Like, pretty good, honestly. And again, these are made up numbers. So this is 11 frontline, right? I have currently 9 years in, okay? But I have like 83 frontline or something right now. Okay, so that's a difference between 11 people who all are active and growing their teams and rocking it, right? Or like I have 81 frontline. That doesn't mean 81 people are active and hitting their titles and doing the stuff, right? Actually, more than not are usually not active. But that's, again, why we grow wide, because it gives us more, I don't want to say options, but that's the only word that's coming to my mind because it's late. It gives us more options, I guess, for people who are working their business, right? I don't want to ever be the desperate person who's like, hey, what do you have going in this month? Because I want to make sure I'm going to hit my numbers. I want to make sure that like my team are hitting their numbers because they want to, and that's just going to be a benefit to me as a byproduct, right? So aside from my smiley faces, who has questions? Like, what did I not cover that you're like, oh, I really wish she would have said that?
I was having a lot of technical difficulties at the beginning. I don't know if you explained the difference, but what's the difference between TWV and GWV?
Yeah, okay. I don't think I actually did go into it. I said I was going to, and then I never did.
Okay.
So you're good. You're good. I was like, I'll get back to that, and then just never did. Okay, so your team. Let me find my little director chart. Okay. So your team is anybody who you're the director for. There's no director between you and this team. Okay, so in this chart, this person would be my team, and these two people would be my team. Okay, that's not realistic. That's usually much larger than this. So all of these people would be my teams. Once a director promotes to director, they become their own team. That's why I have team names and stuff like that, right? Like Cheryl Beth says, get your wax on, because she was a director. So she got to choose that name when she hit director. My original team name, you guys, was, Miranda, were you here for this? The Vivacious Visionaries. Were you around for that? Yeah.
I remember that.
Do you, Alexandra? Yeah, it sounds very like sexy almost. I'm not sure why I chose it. I like alliteration, but okay. So anybody who is not under another director is your team. Now, just because these directors branched off to become their own teams, they are still in your group. Okay. Does that make sense to everybody? Kind of. Yeah. So that's the difference between TWV and GWV. So a team wholesale volume is the combined personal wholesale volumes of everybody who is within one directorship. Okay. So in this example here, this person's TWV would include up to here, right? Not down here, because that person promoted to director. Okay. So that's their TWV, just in this little circle here. Their GWV will include everybody. Okay. Everybody under them ever. So when you're thinking of large leadership volumes like star director and superstar director, when you're like, oh my God, we have to sell 30,000 or 80,000 GWV, that's you and all of your directors groups as well. Okay. Yay, Gloria, I'm so happy. Yeah, it's honestly, it can be really overwhelming. And honestly, even if you've already followed this and you've got to this point and you're still like there's a part where I don't get it, just get there, just promote. It'll make more sense to you. Like, honestly, that's what, like, I know that sounds so, Megan's like, screw you, Kate. Like, it sounds so like overly simplified. But honestly, it helps. Like, if you're like, I don't understand who I get paid on as a star consultant, go promote to star consultant. And then you'll actually be able to like see in your workstation who you get paid on, or just when you get there, look at your compensation plan and be like, okay, so as a star consultant, it stops at star consultant TWV. Okay. Also something, and I don't want to go into it in my little charts because it was overwhelming, but if you have, trying to find a better, okay, here's one. So say that you're a superstar consultant and you have a star frontline who's built a rock star team, and one of those rock stars has promoted to superstar consultant, you will still get paid on your star consultants TWV, but not that one rock stars. Okay? Does that make sense? Megan, you look really confused. Yeah. Do you want to unmute? We could talk about it. You just muted yourself again.
Fucking Zoom. No, I was just following along with the compensation plan as you were spitting out numbers and telling me like who I made money on and who I didn't. Just processing.
Yeah. So just remember, the rule is always you need to be a title above them to be paid on them monthly, right? So not like that's the title, and that's why I really stress the importance of being paid at title so much, because if you promoted to star consultant 3 months ago, that literally doesn't matter if you're not being paid at star consultant. You need to be, in order to hit all of these numbers that we talked about, all of those bonuses, in order to be paid the 7% on so-and-so, you need to be actually at that rank, which is why it's important to know the difference between title and rank, right? So if you're a superstar consultant, you have a star frontline who's built this rock star team, you're going to get paid on the rest of her team that isn't under someone who's at or above your rank. No problem. Thanks, Gloria. Thanks for coming. I hope it helped. Let me know if you ever have any questions, okay? I'm always in CB's team page. Okay? Okay. Bye. Okay, so what I'll do, you guys, is I'm going to share that Workstation Downline Report to show you guys what all of these pages I've just shown you actually looks like in your workstation. Hopefully the report works, or else I'll be showing people's numbers, and I don't want to do that. Just want to make sure I didn't mess. No, okay. Not what I meant to do. Okay, so go away, chat. Okay. I guess just screen. Okay. It's too big. Is it gonna let me? All right. So get here. So for those of you who don't know yet, I'm gonna go to home so you can see exactly how to get here. I'm gonna minimize that. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. I need to change this. So, okay. So you get to your reporting screen. There's two different ways. You can say view my performance. Okay. Or you can go to reporting. So we'll go to performance today because it's the easier way, because it's right from homepage. View my performance. This is going to show you this little page, which kind of shows you a little snapshot of what's going on in your business this month. My PRV is not where I want it to be right now. So normally I would hit start downline report and it will show me everybody who's in my entire team. Okay. Like entire group, sorry. I started this training report. So you can save different reports that you make. So you can, I'll show you in a second what I mean. This should hopefully, fingers crossed, no IT glitches, should show you nobody's name. Yay. Okay, it worked. So with this is the report. You can actually change the columns that you see. So I can put in people's, normally it would have people's names, consultant IDs, all of this information in it. And I've taken that out to secure people's privacy, where I've just left these things in, which are actually relevant to what we talk about tonight. So level means where they are in your team. Okay, so level 1 is frontline. And you can click on any of these columns. So if I want to show only people who have teams, I can double click that and it's going to ascend that for me. Same thing with the levels. Okay, so I can ascend that if I want. Level 1 means they're my frontline. Level 2 means they're my frontline's frontline. Number 3, or level 3 is my frontline's frontline, and so on and so forth. Okay, so what I do when I'm calculating my paycheck, because I don't want to be overwhelmed, is I go and I show only my frontline. So I go into additional filter options. I want to show minimum level 1s, maximum level 1s, because those are the people we actually get paid on, right? Them and their teams. So I do that. Then I filter by title. So it's going to show me my essentials first, then certifieds, and then it go down from there. Okay, so let's go up to 100 so you can see everybody. Okay, so this allows me to know that, like, I'm a store director. I know that I get paid 9% on my essentials and certifieds. The way that I calculate my paycheck, guys, is really old school. Like, there's actual like Excel spreadsheets and stuff that will do it for you. I prefer to do it by hand because, again, I like to be able to keep fresh on the compensation plan and know what I'm talking about for the most part and who I get paid on. Okay, so I'm going to mark down this number here. Okay, this is their PRV. We get paid on their TWV. Okay, this just says PTWV because personal and team can sometimes be the same for, depending on someone's team size, right? So I mark down this. So if I was actually going to be calculating my paycheck right now, I would just take out PRV so that I didn't get confused and write down the wrong number. Boom, right? So I'm going to take, I know I get paid 9% on all of these people. So I'm going to just mark down all of these people on a piece of paper, literally, and then I'm going to add it up after and then multiply it all by 9%. Now, my lead consultant frontlines, I'm going to mark down their numbers and then I'm going to add them all up. And then I'm going to multiply all of those by 7% and so on and so forth. Okay. Because I'm a director or above, or a store director rather, I'm going to have to get out of this little screen and change it to show my actual directors, because again, level 1 doesn't necessarily mean directors, right? So I have some second gens. So I'm going to have to actually like take out the level 1s and put in just director as the title so I can put those numbers in there too to calculate. So I hope that helped to like show you what the report actually looks like. It's not as scary as you think in order to like see who you get paid on. It's really just fiddling around with your workstation. And I've said it before, but I'll say it again. Like, don't be afraid about like pressing some buttons in your workstation. Like, oh, I've already stopped the screen. But if I like press something wrong or I pressed home by accident, like it's not going to break the workstation. Like no one's like the FBI isn't going to show up at my door. You literally just start again, just do it again. Right? So there's a lot of people who are like delicate about their reports. Just start pressing buttons in your workstation and just see what happens. Right? There's literally nothing wrong. I am completely self-taught as far as running reports go. And that's just because I had to be, because we're independent consultants, right? So there's not always going to be someone to show you an exact report. So just start messing around in it and see what happens. And if you press a button that you didn't mean to press, just press back or home and it'll reset. Everything will reset. If you have a report that you've created that you liked, like the one that I just created. So I chose those visible columns to remove people's private information. And then there's a little option there to save report. So I was actually able to save it so I could actually go right into that report so that you guys didn't see people's names pop up. But that's the only time it's going to like remain the same, is if you save it on purpose. And even then I could go back to my regular downline report whenever I felt like it. So was there anything else that you guys, like looking at the comp plan, you're like, I still don't get it? Like, is there anything that you're still confused about? Or do you understand who you get paid on now? How you get paid on them?
Yeah, it really demystified a lot for me.
Okay, good, good. That's the whole point. There's a lot of people who see, and tell me if you feel this way, Alexandra, or anybody, like who see this and they're like, what the hell? Like who and what do I need to do? And like, this seems too hard and I don't even want to bother. Or they look at it or our income disclosure because it looks sketchy. And they say, oh, well, why would I even do that? Like there's so many people not even making money. Or look at all the people I don't make money on. There's a lot of people who see it like that too. They're like, why would I bother building a team if I don't make money on these certain people, right? Keep in mind that if you're always starting with like tiny, right, their interest, not yours, if you're always leading with that, and if you're genuinely going out and recruiting people because they could benefit, and if you're genuinely leading people because it could benefit them, then you won't ever get into like the sticky situation of having a fight with a frontline because you pressured them to do too much. If their goal is 200 PRV every 3 months, then damn girl, you better be cheerleading that goal if they hit it, right? Or helping them hit that goal. It's no one else's responsibility to help you. But at the same time, if you are going out there and doing all of those things because it's genuinely in their benefit, then your life will literally change. And I know like people say that. And like there's people on social media who are like, buy a car, like all these crazy weird things with direct sales. There's a huge stigma about it. But guys, I wouldn't be home for the last 7 years raising my kids and have the freedom of time to be able to quit my old full-time shitty job unless it was because I built a team. I would never be able to make the money I make now unless I built a team, because honestly, I don't want to work that hard. Like to make the paychecks I would have like make now, I would have to sell so much product. And we'll see, that sounds really hard. And I would prefer to like have the community that we have and the freedom to be able to choose when I work, right? And like I said before, I could be sleeping and you guys could be out there like selling your little booties off. And that increases my GWV while I sleep. That's the definition of passive income, right? It's doing something once, which is building a team, right? Or like coaching once a month, for instance. And then having income continuously roll in after that because of that one decision or that one thing that you did, right? So much better than just like selling 10,000 PRV a month. Like, who wants to do that? No thanks. Okay, is there any other questions? Because it's 9:20, I want to let you guys go because it's late. I don't want you guys walking away here with like being confused still. Miranda, did you know all of that already? I feel like you might have.
A bit. It's good to hear. Like I wouldn't be able to name the percentages off and stuff like that, but I still have to ask you sometimes what the percentages.
Yeah, that's okay. Like I just said, like I don't know the percentages off by heart either, honestly.
Or like sometimes you can think that, oh, I just need to get their PRV wise, but it's actually the PWV.
Oh, those percentages, yeah. Yeah, that's especially because we're in Canada, so our sales don't equal our PRV, which makes it a little bit confusing for us. Just keep in mind that us Canadians, when we're hitting monthly sales, which is 2,000 PRV, we've actually sold like $26.90 or something like that. So just like pat yourself a little extra hard on the back when you are, as a Canadian, are hitting these goals. Because we do have to sell a little bit more in order to hit those PRV numbers and TWV numbers, but that's what our peg rate is for. That's why we multiply everything that for as far as paychecks go, we multiply everything by 1.32 because that brings it back up to the actual dollar amount we sold. Okay, so for Americans, when they hit monthly sales, they sell 2,000 PRV, their paycheck is $660, which is still so good. When we sell 2,000 PRV, our paychecks are $792. And that's just because that peg rate allows our actual paycheck commission to bump back up to the dollar amount we sold in Canada. So I hope that helps. But if you guys ever have questions about that like percentage thing, like how do I figure out? It's literally just like wholesale is 75% of retail. So I know sometimes math is hard and sometimes I have to Google, like, how do I calculate percentage again? Like I literally have to Google that like once every 2 months, or I ask my husband because he's really good at math. Okay, so if you guys don't have any other questions, Alexandra, do you have any other questions? I see you unmuted.
Yeah, I'm confused as to how, like, let's say for example, if I was going for lead, not going to happen this week, but I mean, it's eventually going to happen. Before I see the circle growing towards the top, how do you know, before you know you've reached it, how do you know how much to aim for?
So like sales wise?
Yeah, like how much do your team sales have to be to hit? Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is, how do you figure out TWV?
Like from PRV, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So your wholesale volume is 1,000 that you need, right? You're just going to multiply that by 0.75. Wait, see? Yeah, I'm second guessing, right? Right? Yeah. I'm like, do I divide it by 0.7? Divided by 0.75? Multiply?
By 0.75.
Yeah. See, here's the thing, guys, right? If you divide it by 0.75 and it's a lower number, you know that's wrong and just times it instead. But like literally that's my entire way of doing it. So if you're wondering like, oh, I couldn't possibly figure out the math, like Kate could figure it. No, if I could do it for real, anybody could do it. But yeah, so your TWV is 75% of your PRV, right, Alexandra? So if you know that you need 1,000 TWV, you just need to figure out what the retail volume is, and it's literally, it's like 1,300, 1,333 or something. So you just get
okay.
it. So, but your workstation will also show you that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just, I wouldn't want to miss it by like $5 or something.
For sure. And if you're ever like, yeah, we've all been there, right, Miranda? We've all been there. I can see her nodding. Yeah. If you're ever that close and we've been talking about it and I know that that's your goal, I'm going to be reaching out to you.
Okay.
Be like,
okay, that's such a relief.
Yeah, be like, bitch, put in a 6-pack order. Like, I'm going to tell you, unless we've talked about it and kicked the dead cat around the backyard so much that you're like, I don't want to hear from you anymore, you know? But typically I'll reach out to anybody who's that close.
Yeah.
And you should be, as a consultant anyways, especially a consultant who's growing their business, actively growing their business, you should be tracking your numbers daily. Okay, so you should have, I don't care what it looks like, it could be on your phone's notepad, it could be on a piece of paper, it could be on an Excel spreadsheet, whatever you do, but you should be tracking your numbers daily, which should include PRV, new recruits, TWV, active frontline, okay, and then like team size and eventually group size as well.
Right.
So you should know if you're that close because you've checked your workstation every day. And that sounds like a lot, right? That sounds like, oh, I don't have time for that. It takes 4 seconds. Take a screenshot, I don't care, and then record it at the end of the week if you don't have time to actually like transfer the information to somewhere else. But what that does is it just makes sure that you're focused on your business. It keeps you like aware of what's going on. And I've said it before, if I write down the same PRV number like 4 days in a row, like I get sick of myself where I need to be like, okay, I need to sell something today. I need a PWS order. I need a Scentsy Club. I need something. So it sort of just like lights a fire under your butt too. Mm-hmm. If you know that you're at 800 TWV, you know that you need at least 200 TWV more in order to get there. So if you're a week out from the end of the month, then you should be hustling to get there, right?
Okay, gotcha.
Or recruit, that kind of stuff. Yeah. And that's what daily tracking allows you to do, is just be like aware and focused on your business, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. I know I didn't really answer your math question because. Again,
no, I mean, I can probably figure it out now, but I mean, I see people who are so close to promoting and they're showing the graphs all the time, and I get so excited for them. But in order to figure that out, like I wanted to know what was behind it. You know, my brain has to figure out how it actually works. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just keep in mind that the wholesale volume, the WV part of any of those P or T or G's, the WV part is just wholesale volume, which is 75% of the retail, which is our PRV. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So what's that like? Megan, you said it's divide times? It's times.
Multiplied by 0.75.
Gets you what?
So if you multiply your PRV by 0.75, you get your PWV.
Okay, so going the other way, it would be divide by 0.75.
I did multiply by 1.25.
Okay. See, that's not wrong. But I always stick with 0.75 because that's just the way my brain has to work. If I start going into 0.25, my brain will blow up. But that's another way that you could do it too, because you're really just filling in the rest of that 100, right? So however your brain needs to work around that, just remember that, like, say that this is all 100, this V, your wholesale is just 75% of it. So whatever you got to do to fill in the other 0.25, again, you do you. So you do whatever math works for you the best, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. So if no one else has any other questions and you guys haven't unmuted yourselves, Amy or Patience or Miranda, are you good? Yeah. Did that kind of help?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It helped me. I did like a million. I was working while we did it, so
Yeah,
it's fun that you get into the mode just by coming here, right?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, again, you guys, you can always come to me too if you ever have a question about the comp plan. Once again, like, my best advice is honestly just to get there. Like, that's how I learned, was just every time I promoted, I figured out who I got paid on, and then I promoted again and figured out who I got paid on. And it sort of helped me, and that helped me teach it to others as well, right? So if you're, as a leader, are stuck on the comp plan, just go back to the actual, like, chart. And instead of looking at the whole chart, because it can be so overwhelming, follow the colors down, right? Just follow the columns. And that's going to tell you who gets paid on who. But again, come to me if you ever have any other questions. Thank you guys so much for coming tonight. Just a heads up, because Briar's dance changed, it will be the awkward start time of 8:15 from now on, okay? I didn't want to make it 8:30 because I felt like that was like too late. Where I figured 15 minutes was just a small delay. But again, thank you guys so much for being here. It seriously means so much. I hope it helped. And pass on your knowledge to other people, okay? Bye, guys. Love you. I'll see you next week.